This is Big Dell. It's the After Dark edition, baby. Hey, it's the real Spiel. The After Dark edition. YouTube, Instagram. Alexa, stop the music. It's the After Dark edition of the Real Spiel. How are you? This is Big Dell, your host. Alexa don't want to stop. Alexa, stop the music. Listen, I'm here tonight to talk to you about an after dark topic, which is why I had to take you after dark. My number one pet peeve, and I'm going to talk about two things tonight. Why is everybody policing heterosexual black male sexuality? Why is everybody policing heterosexual black male sexuality? Let me tell you something. There is no group, and share it with somebody. Come on, hello, Dragon Old. What's going on? I'm gonna share it with some people. I'm gonna get some people in here tonight. I'm gonna wake some people up if I have to. Claire, I'm gonna wake you up. I'm gonna wake up Clinton. Chosen child, wake you up. Yeah, I'm gonna wake some people up tonight. Listen, I'm here to let you know that there's foolishness afoot right now. There's stuff that's going on right now that I don't like, and I'm trying to figure out why it's taking place, why it's happening, why. Tonight we're trying to figure out the whys, the why. So tell a friend, ask somebody. Jericho, this conversation ain't for you. You should be in your bed. It's my daughter out here. Listen, why are people trying to police us? Why is black male heterosexual sexuality being policed? We are the most policed group socially in the world. My mug is here. Your mug, I used your mug in the day show. This is the night show. Go to bed. I'm gonna throw my daughter out of here, because she don't need to be on this live. Move. Confirm. You're gone. She go in your bed. We gotta have a conversation. I'm trying to have a conversation. I threw her out of the live because I want to have an adult conversation. She's 11 years old. She shouldn't be on my social media at this time of night because it's school night. We are the most heavily policed group in the world in respect to sexuality. The heterosexual black male is over. We're over policed. And not only are we over policed, we are the most over policed, undervalued group demographic in the world. Let me explain something to you. There is no group, and this is where I'm inspired tonight. I'm inspired by this tonight. I'm watching the show. Danica, I see you there. Danica Secret, I see you there. I'm watching this show. It's on Prime, and I need you guys to take a look at this show. It's called Good Luck Leo. And Good Luck Leo is a show about a black man who is a sex worker being licensed by an old white Irish woman to have sex with her. And this is the demographic of this show. And this show goes into this illicit sexual transaction between this young black, really attractive black man and this old white woman. And I'm trying to figure out, why is the black male heterosexual sexuality so, watch this, merchandised, transactional on one side, and on the other side, it is devalued and policed. Listen, if a black man starts dating a non-black woman, a white woman, and he's a star, and he starts dating a white woman, black women jump up and begin to police that. That's policed, right? Because a heterosexual black male who is either affluent, well-known, or good-looking is not allowed to leave his demographic. He's policed. Secondly, if a heterosexual black male is engaged romantically with more than one woman, he's policed. He's policed. And I'm gonna flip it on you to explain to you how it's so hypocritical, because you're like, oh, of course. No, listen, it's hypocritical because he's extremely policed if he is sexually active as a heterosexual. Let me explain it to you. Go to the workplace. Black man in the workplace. One of the few black men in the workplace. He's a good-looking black man. He flirts. He talks to women. Guess what's happening behind the scenes? Hey, girl, don't talk to him. Watch out, because he sleeps with everybody. He's sleeping. He's out here sleeping. He flirts with everybody. He's sleeping with everybody in here, right? Some little individuals in there policing the workplace, saying the heterosexual black man who's attractive, who women like, you be careful of him because he is so attractive that he might get you to sleep with him, right? Now, what is she not saying? She's not saying he ain't raping nobody, right? He ain't making he's proposing marriage to every. No, he's not doing that. They police his sexuality in the workplace, in the market, in the social sphere. The black heterosexual male sexuality is also policed, right? He's either told he's a player. He's either told he's out here with a whole bunch of hoes. He's either told, why aren't you married? Oh, you're so attractive. Why aren't you married? What happened? If he's out of a relationship, he broke the relationship. There's always something wrong with a black man in his sexuality. It's over policed. Ladies, you're over policing it. And then this is the crazy part. This is the crazy part on the other side of it, right? Black women are telling us as black men, you don't know our value. You don't know our worth. If you wish to engage with us sexually, romantically, emotionally, whatever, there's a transactional price tag attached to getting with us. Let me explain the ridiculousness of this. You are picking, black women, you are picking the lowest denominator, the poorest demographic of male in the world. You're picking a man who has the least amount of financial, economic, fiduciary control in the world. And you are putting now a price tag on that man exercising access to you romantically, erotically, or sexually. That's what you're doing with the black man. You're over policing him. You are ridiculing his potency, even in the marketplace. And then on top of that, knowing that he's the lowest on the totem pole, on the demographic economically, you are making access to yourself in this is the black community now, because other communities don't do this with black men. The black community, the black women do this. They say, no, you want to be with me, you gotta have a J-O-B. If you want to be with me, no romance without finance. And black women going crazy. Yes, girl, he better have a job, and he better have this, and he better be able to do this, and he better reward you, and he better honor you. No other group of men, no other group, period. Let me tell you, the policing of sexuality starts, number one, on the very top of the totem pole is heterosexual black male sexuality. It is the most policed sexuality in the world. Everybody has something to say about it. The second most policed sexuality is religious leaders. Don't care where they come from. You got black men, heterosexual black men, being sexual in any capacity. Then you have religious leaders who are usually, their sexuality, of course, is being scrutinized because they're messing either with their sheep or outside of their marriage, which is reasonable scrutiny. And then You go down to the LGBT community, whose sexuality is also scrutinized by everybody. But listen, how is black male heterosexuality on the top of a list like that? Nobody scrutinizes white heterosexual male sexuality like they scrutinize us. Nobody. Nobody scrutinizes it. Our sexuality is weaponized against us for some reason. Black male sexuality is weaponized against us. I've listened, and I'm going to say it in a very politically correct way, to conversations that other ethnicities have had about black men and about their sexuality. There's two major topics. There's two major, I would say, categories that the ethnicities, other ethnicities have had. And remind me to talk about sugar babies, because I'm going to kill these sugar babies today. I'm going to mess y'all up today. But the two major categories that other ethnicities are having conversation about black sexuality is number one, it's fetish size. They fetishize black sexuality. The black man is fetish. He's a fetish internationally. I don't care where you go. I don't care where you go on planet Earth. On planet Earth, there is no human being more fetishized than black male heterosexual sexuality. Black girls, you might come in pretty close second, but I think the Latinos got you beat. But as far as men, nobody, men or women, our sexuality is fetishized by every ethnicity. They're talking about size, they're talking about potency, they're talking about length. Let me tell you, this is something that a lot of you, gonna be like, well, how you know about that, right? Because I know everything. This is how I know about this. Go on some of these sex worker ads. Watch some of those sex worker ads. And on those sex worker, I'm talking about female sex worker ads, right? I'm talking about this show right now. Leo, good luck, Leo. Male sex worker. But go on some of these female sex worker ads. You know what? You know what the majority of these female sex worker ads say? No black gents allowed. The sex workers are saying, listen here, we don't want them black men. We gonna take all y'all other ones. But y'all black men, y'all too much. I don't know. I don't know enough sex workers to be able to ask, why do the majority of sex workers, and especially black ones, well, I understand black women saying they don't want no black gents because they don't want to run into their uncle, their cousin, and their nephew. Secondly, other ethnicities saying they don't want black men because, listen, they in this for volume. They ain't trying to get their back blown out by one client and one night. They're like, yeah, listen, no. We ain't trying to work that hard for this money. They are fetishized, and the other part is their sexuality is weaponized against them. When I was coming out of university looking for a job in the corporate world, I already had this information in my mind. I already knew this. At 22 years of age, I already knew this. I already knew that if I walked into a corporate environment, people would fetishize me and say, uh-oh. They don't say, here comes the big black man. They say, here comes the big black eggplant. He's a big black man swinging a big black, you know what. And in the minds of these corporate non-black, I'm other ethnicity women, you are a fetish. And that could be taken good or bad, right? It could be taken good or bad. And so I had to quickly say, oh yeah, I had to downgrade my sexuality. Be like, yeah, I'm a married man at the time. Yeah, I've got a daughter. I've got to take away from that. Oh, he's not single. He's not out here trying to conquer. He's not one of them. Because I know that black male sexuality is intimidating to some people. I'm telling you, people talk about, oh, it's racism when, you go in an elevator as a black man and a white woman, she puts her purse on her other hip, or other ethnicity changes, or they get nervous around you and they go. Listen, that's one thing, but be a brother walking the street. Just walking. I was walking up the street today, and start walking next to a woman. She has an expectation. Oh, here comes a brother. You're gonna try to talk to me. These black men, they're very sexual. They're overtly sexual. There's a mentality. There's a mentality that we are just a walking bag of hormones that wants to have sex with everybody. Our sexuality is over policed. It is undervalued. It is over merchandised, right? It has become extremely transactional with individuals. Let me explain the transactional part, because I was having a conversation with some people on my other social media about circumstance that happened to me, where young lady who information I got on the street, hello, how are you? Let's exchange information. Months later, messages me and says, are you interested in being a sugar baby, in taking on a sugar baby? I'm thinking to myself, what would make you believe that I require to pay you for sexuality, bro? Like, what would make you think? Why would you think that I choose to be transactional in respect to you? And she was a non-black girl too. She was a non-black girl. And don't get me wrong now, black girls are asking for the same thing. This is not a race thing necessarily, in the way that I'm thinking she was targeting me just because I'm black only. I think that all women do it. I think just because she wasn't black, I think all women, especially young girls are on some mess right now, where you guys are thinking that, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, why would you look at a man of my caliber and think that I need to have a transactional relationship about accessing your behind for sex? Why? Why do I look that hard? Am I that old and decrepit now? Am I that old and decrepit that I look like I need to start paying you young girls to have access to you? Is that what it's looking like on these streets? Is that what it's looking like? That sugar babying? And then I had some women tell me, oh, well, a lot of men are looking for sugar babies. No, we're not. No, we're not. Love them generalizations. They are generalizations because it happens. They're generalizations because I'm just seeing it coming. Bam, 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 bam. It's just coming. I'm a black man. A lot of different ethnicities like me. And I'm not getting differences. I'm not getting differences. Sisters are not dealing with me different than white girls, than Asian girls, than Mediterranean girls. They're not. I'm getting the same behavior across the board. So this is a generalization, but I can also break it down into demographics. That there's a generation of women that truly believe that there is a transactional relationship that has to take place between me as a black man and them. And it's not, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not a unicorn. I'm not alone. It's happening all over the place. Black women, especially, and I say I can target black women because they are part of my culture, my social economy. I interact with them more than others. I see their social media more than others. And their number one thing is saying, you got to know your worth. You got to know your worth. You got to know your worth. You got to make sure these men know your worth, But why is it that our worth is so devalued, though? Why is your worth so high that I have to pay to access your worth? Why are you choosing the lowest financial demographic of man and making it transactional for him to access you? That doesn't make no doggone sense. Doesn't make no sense. Doesn't matter what I look like. What doesn't matter how much money I have. Doesn't matter how nice I live. Demographically, I am the lowest economical totem pole man. My demographic of men have the least money of all the other ethnicities. But why has my sexuality become transactional with you? And this doesn't make sense. How can you be a fetish, be the desired, be the prize, be the reward, while at the same time they're saying you have to pay to access? That don't make no sense. It doesn't make no sense. It's not, these things are not connecting. They're not connecting with me. And there's a demographic of women that truly believe that men should be transactional, especially men that look like me, that we should be transactional when we access them, even though they are fetishizing us at the same time. How can you want me so badly, but then say there's a financial gate to access you? No, you got to be out of your mind. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Doesn't make no sense. And it's something that I've seen it enough. It's happening to me enough that I can come here and talk about it. It's not theory. I'm not theoretical. I'm telling you plain, exactly what's happening on the streets all the time. Period. Women will engage me in two ways, shape, or form. Either they are absolutely not interested. Absolutely. And it's easy to see. You're absolutely not interested. They're not interested. All right? That's not interested. I'm sorry, not interested. Or I am interested conditionally. Those are the two ways. It's either I'm interested conditionally because I want this kind of relationship, I don't want that. Or I'm interested conditionally because I want you to produce this level of lifestyle for me in order for you to have access to me. That's it. Those are the two ways, right? I've had some other strange ducks too, but I'll call them the exceptions, right? Folks asking me to be part of their harem and stuff like that. That's an exception, but that's still fetishizing. I would like you to be part of my sexual group, black man. I've had that too. You're not going to be number one, though. You're going to be one of the others. I've had that too. So I've had the fetishizers. I've had the individuals who are transactional, and I've had the individuals who are simply not interested, right? And you know, the people that are not, they're not interested. They actually raise my antenna. Because why are you not interested? What is it not interested about, right? Because you have people that simply don't date black men. Black women, non-black women, they don't date black men. They have a reason. They have various reasons. They don't date us. They don't date us anymore. And it's still part of the two reasons. There's still part of the two reasons. There is a valuation going on in the minds of society in respect to our sexuality. And I'm telling you, I'm going to just throw this out here. I believe, even though the world is clear that our sexuality, our presence is potent, our value is low. Absolutely. Our value has lowered. The value of the black man has lowered in the eyes of black women first. And you can see, social media will clearly tell it to you. The things that you guys say about us. Go through your little girlfriend's social media and see all the mess, all the stuff that they're saying about black men. And black women are talking about men. And when black women are talking about men, they're not talking about any other ethnicity but us. Statistics show that black women date us. They don't date anybody else. The ones that do are few and far between. But when black women are talking positively or negatively about men in general, period, they're talking about us. And most of you have not very good things to say about men. And those men that you're talking, even though you do not categorize them, they're us. And you're not saying good things. You're not saying good things. So in my opinion, as I'm watching the social sphere of what women are saying, our value is low. In your mind, our value is low, but still you want us. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy to want something so badly that the demand for it is high, The supply of it is low. And supply and demand is very easy. When the demand is high and the supply is low, what happens to the value? You know this. Most of you know this. This is economics. This is grade 8 economics. The value goes up, shoots through the roof. But that's not happening with us. The demand is high. The supply is low, but the value is going down. Does that make sense? Right? And people think, oh, I have a lot of black women now. They're very angry at me because they're like, oh, you're trying to be a bootleg Kevin Samuels. No, I've always talked like this. I've always talked like this. I'm not trying to be bootleg nothing. The facts are the facts. If black men are desired by black women pretty much exclusively, and if the demand for the type of black men you want is high, and the supply of the type of black men you want is low, then shouldn't the value for him go up? But it's and see, this is why Kevin had a show. This is why Kevin was popular, because the demand of the women who were calling into him, they wanted that. But in their mind, the value of the man is low. And so what they had to do is they had to construct, and guys are capping as well as women, they had to construct a value. Oh, I need a man who makes this much money and does this and has this and has this. And so they're asking for unicorns. They're asking for men who don't necessarily exist, right? So because they've said that regular men, this is what essentially these women have said. And I'm taking the argument to a different level. Because black women want a man that they have fictionalized in their mind, they have fantasized in their mind, they have created in their mind. And most of the time, the brother doesn't exist. What they have actually said is that regular guys are not valuable. We're not interested in that. We don't want those. We don't want a struggler. We don't want a guy living check to check. We don't want a guy making 40, 50 grand. We don't want a guy who needs us to help him buy a house. We don't want a guy who's not able to simply take care of us so that we can marry him and we can stay at home and he can pay all the bills and give us everything we need. We don't want that guy. We want a different guy, and we'll tell you what he is, and we'll create him in our mind. And that's why I tell these guys, listen, stop with these. Don't even engage these women who are talking about they had a list and they got all these. That list doesn't exist, because most of the men that they're talking about in North America do not fit their list. So it's a fiction. And so what they've done is they've created a man and who doesn't exist, and they have devaluated the men that do exist. They've devaluated the dudes who do exist, the regular dudes who do exist. That guy has no value. Listen, and who, God forbid, we try to approach them on the street. We try to approach them in a mall, in a grocery store. Listen, the amount of pushback. God forbid we approach them on social media. God forbid we dive into your DM. The amount of pushback that we have been receiving based on nothing. I've seen women say foolishness like crazy stuff. I heard a girl they say today, I don't like these men who wear hats all the time and glasses and dark glasses. Their heads are shaped funny. And she's making a joke. But it's gotten to the point where women are saying anything. Oh man, I don't like men with two elbows. Those men with two elbows, they cheat on you all the time. Like, it's got to the point where you anything. Because, like I said, where I started, why is the sexuality of black men being policed to the point it's been scrutinized, ostracized, marginalized, and devalued? Y'all are transactional with us. You're not transactional with the other brothers, with the other men. One sister I saw today, and she was very nice. She said, y'all men don't know how to court us. I put myself on the dating scene and I got to pull myself off. I said, listen, sis. I said, maybe it's not us. Maybe it's not us, because usually the product doesn't put itself back on the shelf. Somebody returns that to sender. And I said, why don't you do this? I said, I got a solution for you. Why don't you do this? Why don't you go out and find a brother that you want and you court him? See, and I said, you won't do it though. You won't do it. You know why you know why, sisters, you know why you guys won't do that? You know why you won't do that? But here I'm watching a movie about a old white woman who's actually paying money to receive black male sexuality. It's a movie, bro. Listen, it's called, I'll say it again, it's called Good Luck Leo. Um it's on Amazon Prime. It's on Prime. Right? Because our sexuality is fetishized by others and within our own community. And it's gotten to the point where it doesn't really have any true value. It's crazy. And what black brothers need to do, what brothers need to do, is we need to reclaim our own masculinity and our own sexuality. Honestly, we need to say, listen, you know what? I'm gonna stop having sex with most of y'all. I'm gonna stop. Honestly, as handsome as I might be, as good looking as I might be, as desired as I might be, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut my actual sexual activity down to 1/10. I'm gonna tell people, I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. We need to rise back the value of black male sexuality, because most women think, oh shoot, brother, black man he'll sleep with you for he'll sleep with you. He's got incredible sexual drive. He'll sleep with anything. He sleep with everybody. He sleep with one girl and turn around and sleep with you. We need to stop that narrative. That narrative needs to be changed. Brothers need to be now saying, no. I ain't gonna sleep with most of you. I'm not giving most of you my number. I'm not giving you most of you access to me. No, unfortunately, no, you don't qualify. No, we need to stop talking. We need to stop reaching out. We need to stop picking up. We need to stop saying, hey, sweetheart. Hey, we need to stop diving into DMs, because there's a generation of women that thinks these guys are good. They're going to come. They're always coming. They're not the prize. They're not the reward. We don't want to marry them. We want to marry Chad. We don't want to marry Leroy. And therefore, Leroy rather, is just somebody that I mess with in the nightclub, hang out with. I learn some dance steps. He teaches me the cool music, and then I go marry Chad. We need to change that argument. Honestly, we need to change that argument and act differently, because I'm kind of sick of it, to be honest with you. I'm actually sick of it. I'm sick of seeing black male sexuality being so unappreciated. I'm sick of it. And when I say sexuality, I'm not saying that brothers are just out there having sex. I'm saying heterosexual black men are being drastically misrepresented, undervalued, and approached transactionally. Check out this movie. I got halfway through it, and I had to stop it because I was like, "What kind of movie is this, really? You know, what kind of movie? What is the message here, right?" Because this white woman from Ireland, she's had one husband, and she's never had a sexual life of her desire. And so now, after her husband has died, she has decided to find herself a male sex worker. That's what the whole movie is about. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Check out the movie. But I'm watching it, and it just triggered some things in me. Why is this young boy even in this trade? Who decided to make a movie about this? And this brother's playing the heck out of this movie. Like he's killing this role, and this is the scariest part. This is why I think it inspired me to come out here on this. I said to myself, this guy's playing this role so well. He's going to inspire other young black boys, other young black men to say, why don't I become a sex worker? Why don't I allow my sexuality to be merchandised like Leo here in this movie? I'm telling you, this thing's dangerous. Leo's a good looking, he's extremely handsome, he's intelligent, he's articulate, and he's a sex worker. Whoo, Lord. Listen, and some people might think, oh, you know, Dell, you're being oversensitive. No, I'm not. I'm not being oversensitive. I'm looking at this guy like this guy could be my son. This guy could be a younger version of me. This guy could be a grandson in the future. this mentality, this behavior is not something that's it's not just a movie, it's real life. It is the merchandising of Black male heterosexual sexuality that is going on, and it's rampant. It's devaluing, it's fetishizing, it's creating stereotypes, and it's not healthy for us. It's not healthy. It's not a healthy message for our young daughters. It's not a healthy message for women in our community, because what my experience is from this cultural phenomenon that has now made its way to Prime Video is that me as a Black man, as a heterosexual Black man, I am being personally devalued. Personally. It's you know what? It's not a compliment to simply just be a fetishized man. Oh shoot, he's sexy. Oh, he's sexy. I'd love to mess with him. No, what? Okay, so great. I'm supposed to take that as a compliment? What's that doing for me? What is that doing for me when you utilize me as a fetish and then move on with your life? That's not doing nothing for me. I'm like a discarded I'm like a discarded cup. I'm like a discarded temporary garment that you wore because you wanted to go to a particular ball, but then you return it to the store. Like you said, don't pull the tags off that one because I'm taking this back, girl. It's nice, but I'm gonna take it back afterward. I'm gonna take this dress back. It shows that there's no real pride of ownership. It's not like, look what I have. And this is the funny part. The women that actually do have pride and say, yo, I got myself a good man, they're not on our level. So of course, and it's funny because not everybody should be able to say, yeah, that caliber of man, I can access him because I heard that Black men sleep with everybody. No, bro, I don't like that. I don't personally like it. I hear Black men sleep with everybody, so I guess I can get one of them. I can level up and get myself an 8, 9, 10 brother out here, even though the men of my supposed culture, think I'm a 3 or a 4, but because these dudes sleep with everything, I can go get one of them. No, that don't make that's not a compliment. That's not a compliment because it's essentially saying that I'm cheap, that I am the Mandingo of the slave trade. And this, let me close it down with this. In the slave trade, there were breeding Blacks, bucks they were called, and the bucks were bought by 2 types of slavers. Slaver number 1, they needed strong bucks to work in rough conditions, right? They either needed them to be individuals in the field. They needed to be individuals who potentially could secure the household. Maybe they would even use them for sport and fight bucks against others, right? But they were slavers who said, we want strong bucks for mostly work, some level of protection, and maybe some aspect of sport, right? They might wrestle against each other or whatever they wanted to do with those. That's one type of buck that they would buy, Mandingo bucks. But then there was the other ones, and these were women who would buy these slaves for sexual pleasure, Black male bucks for sexual pleasure. And they weren't always women too. Sometimes it was men buying these bucks. And they bought them because they said, yeah, we'll utilize them for our sexual pleasure. And not only women were doing this, women slavers, excuse me, but men too. Excuse me. So we've reached a place now where buck buying is back. Say that 3 times. Buck buying is back. Big, strong, Black buck. Yeah, we know what they like to do. Let's merchandise them. Let's see if you like to come over here and hang out with us and do what we need him to do. And this movie is a prime example that buying black bucks is back. Check it out. On Prime Video, it is called Good Luck, Leo. And Leo is dealing with a very hard to maintain, looking like she's a retiree, right? She's well into her 60s. He's in his 20s. And he's been employed to take care of her business. That's my time. Doing it after dark. I'm going to watch y'all on the repost. If you don't like what I got to say, well, counter it. Because what I'm saying is coming straight out of experience. Doing it after dark. Alexa, resume music. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going back to watching my movie. I'll talk to y'all later.